Oh, it helps. Let's see. Is it working?
Let's see. Yes, it says we're online.
Okay, I just got the notification.
Cool.
Uh,
I can see your Twitter screen.
oh, whoops. The dangers of running Twitter out of the same browser as I'm running Roll20. Let's see here.
I guess we should give people a little bit to jump in.
Yep. Uh, that is my plan. So, in the interim, I don't know. Little Bit didn't do anything in particular that was cute today. Like, I didn't even see him most of the day. Like, he wasn't even in his cat bed or anything. I don't know where the hell he was.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no, it's...
Sorry. Um, I'm going to write an intro to our thing.
Shit! Oh god! No, Twitch! Twitch, no. Uh, sorry. I clicked on the wrong thing and startled myself. And... Oh, that's the other thing.
What's the other thing?
Um... The, I forgot to add the, uh... donation tracker to the, ugh. The overlay. God, I don't know why I can't speak today. Let me see while we're at it. Let me see if I can log into Tiltify and get that information. Because that would be good. Do. By the time I either get this fixed or choose to abandon it, we should be ready to start. Haha! Alright, everybody's going to go on a little adventure with me as I try to get the banner added. I'm pretty sure. Oop. Nope, that didn't work. Alas. Oh! Oh! Haha! Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's see if it shows up. Aw, yeah. Okay, now we have our donation counter. So we can get started.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the intro. We're doing great here.
Yeah. You putting the intro in the doc?
Yeah, I was just going to read it if you want.
Okay, you are more than welcome to read it.
Hi, everyone. This is great radio. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I guess I've got enough in there that I can go ahead and go. So where are we at? We've got 7 people. We had 8. We lost 1 because we're ridiculous. So hi to the people who are here. I guess we'll go ahead and get started if that works for you, August.
Sure does.
Okay, so hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We're Standing Stones, a not-for-profit podcast guild devoted to character-driven stories, communal world building, and having fun with friends. This is our first 2-player session for our June Pride streams. We had our first Friday stream last week, and we're doing a stream every Friday and some 2-player streams throughout the week. So today, and for all the other 2-player sessions, we're going to be taking donations for Know Your Rights Camp, which they aim to advance the liberation and well-being of Black and Brown communities through education, self-empowerment, mass mobilization, and the creation of new systems that elevate the next generation of change leaders. So you can see up in the top there, we've got our goal of 200, and we have some donation incentives today. So we'll tell you more about those during gameplay. And to get things started, I'm Anya. My pronouns are they, them, and you can find me on Twitter at AKA Anya, and you can find the podcast I'm from, The Room Where It Happened, at RoomWherePod. And August?
Hi, I'm August. You can find me on Twitter at Harpydora. You can find my native podcast at FTLcast on Twitter, and the podcast we're both on, Dumb Kids Playing Hero, at .tumblr.com. And my pronouns are they, them.
Cool. So today we're going to be playing Random Access Histories by Roswell Writes, at Roswell Writes. That's been Roswell's Twitter. And the object of this game is it's a game about the stories we carry with us in our bodies and how we share them with each other. The object of the game is not to succeed or fail at any one action, but rather to build and explore a changing relationship between 2 entangled people. It is a game about partnership and understanding. And yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read off a bunch of stuff about random access history because it is possibly my favorite tabletop RPG of all time. Random Access History is a game about the stories we carry with us in our bodies and how we share them with each other. The object of the game is not to succeed or fail at any one action, but rather to build and explore a changing relationship between 2 entangled people. It is a game about partnership and understanding. As players, our goals are to create characters with both pasts and futures, to explore the strange and labyrinthine ways the mind works, to grapple with tough questions about the edges of humanity and identity, to bring empathy, understanding, and patience to the table, to ask each other questions and use the answers, and to not fight failure, to not fear success. So this is a relatively low prep game. Basically, there are 3 or 4 things that we have to set up. The first thing that we have to set up is the war. As a team, you play your side's best hope in a conflict against an overwhelming enemy. It drew the 2 of you together and continues to bind you as you go forward. Together, choose 3 adjectives from the provided list to describe the threat that you face. Then choose the one thing that sets this threat apart and makes facing it overwhelming and mark it with a star. Other enemies, creatures, allies, or wars may have had the other 2 attributes you chose, but the one you start is the reason why, is the reason this was especially important or especially daunting. By choosing attributes for your enemy, you also reveal something about the force you fight for and your reason for existing. So
Jade's also pointing out not to forget our incentives. So now that we've kind of talked about the game, we can talk about those as well.
I was gonna hold off on the incentives until we get to explaining the mechanics.
Cool.
So once we get there, we can explain the incentives, especially since the bigger one explicitly deals with one of the mechanics. So we had a Google Doc. There's the tab.
So we've kind of already talked about, so in this game, one of you plays a mech and one of you plays a pilot, and we've kind of already talked about our characters, but this will be the first time we talk about the war that we're involved in. So we have options to choose from, and neither of us have discussed it yet, so that's kind of cool.
I would like to take hive-minded and swarming off the table, just because I have played this game with those 2 adjectives for the war a lot.
Okay.
And as much as I like them, I would like to try to branch out.
Okay. That is fine. Telepathic enemies sound terrifying. Invisible enemies also sound terrifying. There's a lot of very intimidating things that your enemies could be.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the point. So since we were thinking about playing in a fantasy setting, do we want to maybe use mechanized as one of the things so we could be fighting science-y robots when we're fantasy people?
It's good.
Cool.
I don't know why I keep thinking of the planet that we've set up. So we're doing like a fantasy type planet, and I keep picturing forest and like mutated creatures, pulling off of one of the words here, like from the freaking like Avatar universe, like animals that kind of look like real life animals, but they're like just kind of different. So I don't know if that's anything along what you were thinking.
So would that be in addition to mechanized, or would that be instead of mechanized?
No, keep mechanized. I guess mutated would more describe, well, it says other enemies, creatures, or allies. So I guess I'm proposing mutated in terms of like the creatures on the world where we are.
Okay. Yeah, we can jot that down as just like a detail of the world, but that
It's an
doesn't.
adjective. It's an adjective from the list, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Okay.
does that apply to the war? Or does that just apply to, like, flavor of the world?
I don't know. I mean, I assume the war was taking place here.
Yeah, but this is specifically, we're talking about our enemies. Like, who are we fighting against? So these adjectives describe who
Oh,
the force we're
well,
fighting against.
oh, because it's worded other enemies, creatures, allies, or wars may have had the other two attributes, but you choose. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's misleading. Sure, that can just be a world detail. What would you like to propose?
Well, I proposed mechanized. You were talking about telepathic and invisible being terrifying. Does that mean that they're ones that you want to take off the table, or ones that you're interested in messing around with?
I'm always interested in the terrifying option.
Okay, so do we want to just do mechanized, telepathic, and invisible, and then just be running around against, the predators from the Aliens and Predators universe, except they're robots?
That does kind of sound like what we're, yeah. Yeah, I dig that.
Okay, so which of these in particular sets our enemies apart?
Probably the mechanized, right? Like,
Okay.
because the other two make them like the aliens, but they're not aliens.
Cool. And this bit is kind of explicitly calling me out because I have a history of forgetting about this. With your partner, decide what you call the threat you face. Perhaps you call them what they call themselves, or maybe it's just a stopgap name while you try to learn their word, or maybe it's a way to put a familiar face on something scary. It's your name for them.
The
So,
predators.
I
Don't
mean,
sue us.
if you want, we can just call them predators.
Did you have a better suggestion? Did you have something in mind?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I've written it down. I'm about to click
Therefore, it
off
is
that
true.
line. Do you speak now or forever hold your peace?
No, it's good.
Okay. So now we go on to characters. And much like the war, we have to choose 3 adjectives to describe ourselves, and then choose one of the 3 things that sets us apart. And the first one that we're supposed to talk about is the mech. And I'm playing the mech, and I think my 3 adjectives are going to be. I have one, and I have picked another. I just need to pick my last one.
Okay. What are the 2 you have?
Ancient, which is definitely going to be the starred one, and then mystical. I don't want to do organic because I've done that a couple of times now, so.
That's fair. Also, it kind of doesn't go with like the rusted vibe we were
Yeah.
going with. There's the learning one, which might be interesting with the effect, with like some of the stuff we talked about.
Yeah? Or I could be shifting and be a transformer. Wait, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Aw, you can turn to a little dog or something.
I can be like Megatron and be a giant robot that turns into a small gun.
That'd be useful for me, certainly.
I can't tell if you're serious.
I mean, having a mech that then becomes a gun you can use is useful. I guess it starts out as a gun you can use, but becomes a gun you can use in smaller places.
Yeah. Hmm. Ooh, I could go with mysterious.
Mystical and mysterious.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, there's nothing saying that if I don't choose shifting, I can't still, like, either transform into a gun or, have a gun that I can give you, so. But I think because of what we talked about previously, I think mysterious works pretty well, so.
Okay.
Now I need to come up with a name. Don John, don't fail me now.
Does John Don have a robot name generator?
Well, it has a fantasy name generator. Oh, hang on. Let me see if that word means what I think it means real quick.
Glad I'm not the only person that has to do that, because damn.
It's like I'll learn something in a video game or a book and then be like and then like pick something up from context clues and then be completely wrong, or you know, just wrong enough that it, you know, makes me look like a fool. So
So for today's big question, does that word mean what you thought it meant?
Not quite, but I wouldn't have looked like a fool if I had said it. So Don John gave me a name that looked vaguely like the word Celadon, which I think is pronounced Celadon. It's Celadon, which I had always been under the impression was kind of like a robin's egg blue color, but it's actually supposed to be kind of green. And it refers to pottery, specifically that are glazed in the Celadon color. So, what if I had a kind of like a green patina where I'm not rusted?
Cool.
So yeah, my name is Celadon, and my pronouns are let's go with she, her.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if I want to like share with the party why my pronouns are she, her, or if I want to hold on to that.
That is entirely up to you.
I think I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll share with the class if it comes up in gameplay.
Hopefully it does. And then is this the point where we talk about, because it says introduce yourself to your co-pilot? Is this where we talk about where we meet, or is that later?
Well, we can, let's talk about your character first, and then we can decide if we want to just, like, kind of abstract out us meeting, or if we want to play that out.
Okay. Well, cool. Then if you're good, I'll do my character.
Go for it.
So I've already named my character, given her pronouns, and chosen 3 adjectives. So this will go very quickly. I'm playing the pilot, or this game uses co-pilot to refer to both of us, but the one that goes inside of Celadon. I'm playing Lavender Starchild, who uses she, her pronouns. And the 3 adjectives I have, or attributes I have assigned to Lavender, are cybernetic, brash, and loyal. Cybernetic is the one I've starred, and I think it's an older injury, and she has a cybernetic arm. I don't think it's very recent necessarily, but probably due to the war.
Is it like magic cybernetics? So it's like kind of like a magic prosthetic arm, or
I assume it can do some stuff. I'm not sure what necessarily you mean by magic cybernetic, but
well, I mean, is it powered by magic, or is it purely mechanical?
I guess let's go with magic, because you've got some magical stuff going on here. Mystical is the specific word for that. So yeah, let's make it all about that magic world.
Sounds good.
So that's my character, pretty short and simple.
Yep. And the last thing that we have to do to prepare is we have to come up with our conflict. You and your co-pilot work against the threat, but that doesn't mean that you're always on the same side of every decision. In the game, you play a pair who has been brought into conflict with each other for some reason, be it major or minor. You start in either a state of full sync or full desync. This conflict also serves as a starting place for your story. Talk to your partner and decide what has changed to bring you to the start of the story.
So we kind of have talked about the start of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we decided that we wanted to kind of like start at the beginning with Lavender finding Celadon.
Yeah, kind of like, what's that movie with the boy and his robot?
Iron Giant?
Yeah, kind of like that meeting, like overgrown. I keep picturing a forest. I don't know why. Just like finding you overgrown in a forest or something.
I mean, I'm fine with overgrown forest and that being where you find me. But at the risk of alienating you and everybody else watching the stream, I've never actually seen Iron Giant, so I'll have to take your word on that one.
I feel like in that movie, someone in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but he finds an overgrown robot in like a forest or something. I don't know. It's been roughly 20 years since I've seen it, so... Oh, Jade says, oh my god, August. So I think you have alienated one person, at least.
Fair.
um, yeah, so I like, and you weren't like my mech. I found you in the forest because Lavender was in a battle on this planet and her mech was completely destroyed. So now she is stranded here and she's trying to figure out where to go from here. And so probably that looks a lot like trying to not be found by the enemy and also trying to figure out how to get home. So she's hiding out in the forest and finds this ancient, overgrown mech.
Yup. And I don't know. I kind of want to say that, like, maybe this isn't the first time uh, the Predators have, like, threatened people on this world. So maybe, like, I've fought against them before, but after the last war, I just kind of, like, shut down, like, went off into the forest to sadly shut down because I lost my co-pilot. So,
Which I guess implies something about you that you just went off into the forest to shut down without your pilot.
listen, I like sad robots, okay?
You're a very sad robot.
I'm a very sad robot.
So so that's how we find each other. And I guess that's also our conflict is that we don't know each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good conflict. So now we're ready to start play. So the way that this works when you're playing in person doesn't really work that well with Roll20 because you play with a standard deck of playing cards with the jokers removed. And typically each player gets 13 of those cards after they've been shuffled, and that's what they draw from to keep in their hand. Roll20 isn't that great, so we're just pulling our hands from the full deck of 52. I've already dealt you your starting 3 cards, Anya.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. So you're supposed to draw 3 cards into your hand, and that is your quote-unquote memory bank. These are the memories that float close to the surface of your mind. And then we have the playmat labeled sync and desync. Play consists of scenes or moments in the war that you and your co-pilot are fighting. Players take turns establishing scenes by naming an action they want to take. Actions can be small or large, but each should be a significant part of your journey toward or away from understanding each other. Roleplay the scene freely. If the scene is a battle, share the responsibility for narrating action. If a scene doesn't involve both mech and pilot, your co-pilot can step in to play other characters of the world around. If both mech and pilot are present along with other characters, take turns stepping in to play them. Now, here's the juicy shit. The bloom allows you and your co-pilot to relive memories together. This can happen regardless of distance between you. This can happen in battle or even if you're in a scene where only one of you is physically present. At any point in the scene, the player who did not establish may play a memory from their hand and immediately draw another. The suit determines the subject of the memory you shared and the number, the strength, or importance. So here's where one of our incentives comes in. If you donate $10 through the Tiltify campaign, and you put a card in the comments, that's the memory that we have to play during that scene. And Diamonds are memories of strong emotion. Hearts are memories tied to people. Spades are memories of action that you did or was done to you. And clubs are memories tied to places or objects. A tool, a tool. A two is a minor memory that may be shared with little worry. A seven is a middling memory, important but not formative, and an ace is a memory that is fundamental to who you are and your conception of yourself. The player who plays the memory outlines the memory, but the other player should feel free to make suggestions or ask clarifying questions. When the memory is done, return to the scene and continue role-playing as if you've returned from a flashback. Play out how it affects you having relived it with your co-pilot. If it made you angry, bring that into the scene. If it only made you more confused about them, play out that confusion. If you were the one who shared it and it hurt to relive it, then bring that forward. And when both parties feel the scene is done, stop and discuss it. Did it bring you closer to understanding or put up barriers between you? If you felt the scene brought you closer together, we'll place that memory in the sync pile. If the scene caused complications or dissonance, we'll place it in the desync pile. And if we don't agree after some light discussion, don't try to convince each other, just place the card automatically in the desync pile. And as a note from Ben, sync is not always good and desync is not always bad. Sometimes sync brings you closer to a bad decision, and sometimes desync gives you time to breathe. Brains are complicated, and there are a myriad of number of ways that any one thing can be interpreted. So... and then, sorry, let me scroll down in my doc real quick. A couple of other concepts to cover really quick before we get down to our first scene is talking about the bloom, which is what it allows an entangled pair to share memories, but it also allows you to share other things. It can contain your feelings, your literal thoughts, or even bits of what you're sensing at the moment. At any time, whether in a scene or a memory, whether you're the establishing party or not, you may ask your co-pilot what is blooming from you now, and they will share something with you. You can do this even if you're role-playing a scene where only one co-pilot is physically present. What you get from the bloom might be the only thing your character knows about the goings-on, or it may enhance the story you get later. And the last important mechanic is what's called memorial walls. If it's your turn to share a memory and there is no memory in your hand that you feel comfortable sharing, you have another option. An entangled person may construct a memorial wall in their mind to prevent memories or emotions from being shared in the bloom. All you must do is focus your mind on some sort of barrier, tell your partner what this barrier is and that you have constructed the wall. For the rest of the scene, neither of you may ask about the bloom, for while a memorial wall is up, there is nothing. At the end of the scene, you add a tally mark to the desync pile. So, all right.
Cool.
That's all the important stuff. So, since you've never played it before, would you prefer to start setting a scene, or would you rather I start?
I think I should start, because I need to find you.
Okay, so
right?
you did wanna play that out?
I guess so. At least to the point where, like, I have found this old mech and am, like, poking around. If that works for you.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. So yeah, then that's the scene I would like to propose is that I'm going through the forest trying to like hide and find safety, and also trying to figure out what to do next. Really, my cat is licking the curtains. I'm sorry.
Iris?
Nope, the one
What?
that's supposed to be smarter. Um, Great. I guess they're tasty. So I'm running through the forest trying to find safety, and I come across this overgrown, like just covered in weeds, like rusty mech. And you said you've been here for a while, right? Like you don't look like the model I lost, right?
Absolutely not. Actually, I don't know. Would it be more fun if, like, because I know previously I'd been talking to you about, like, maybe being a prototype for, uh, for some of the mechs that are currently in production. Although since I'm ancient, like, maybe there's not really any sort of design, uh, shared design, uh, aesthetics.
Like
So,
your version like 1 and we're on version like 20.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I've seen something like this in a training book, but I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Lavender is like, kind of goes over to the mech and has to like pull loose vines that are covering you, and like just kind of begins poking around, and like examining, because she assumes she probably knows how to work this thing, because she has one that's like 19 generations newer, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah. Oh,
no, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to repeat myself, so you go.
Um, stop. Um, so I think, uh, yeah, I think, like, maybe as soon as, Lavender touches Celadon, um, there's, like, this, maybe like a flash of light almost, because, like, I'm version 1 and you're used to piloting version 20, but there's still, like, the underlying, uh, need for that connection through the bloom, because I don't have a pilot and you don't have a mech anymore.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that might be both where the bloom connects and also what wakes me up. Um, and I think you just, like, there's a bunch of, like, static, um, as kind of like I wake up, um, before, like, I stand and, like, in standing, pull myself away from, like, some of the vines, which because I live in Georgia, I'm imagining as just a whole fuck ton of kudzu, um, just, like, pulling away from that, um, and I don't know, I'm not massive, but I still want to say I'm like maybe 30 feet, 35 feet tall. So, like, I'm still pretty big compared to you, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and,
I feel like mechs probably do a similar thing that like cell phones do, where like you're 35 feet tall and over time they get like 1 foot smaller because they figured out how to like make it take up less space and do the same thing.
yeah, well, there's the push for, like, cell phones that are as big as your head, it seems, these
That's
days,
true.
but yeah, I'm probably much, much larger and, like, much less sleek than what you're used to.
Hmm. Yeah, so you your lights come on and power up, and Lavender like jumps off of you and runs enough away, like does that like behind a tree peering out thing. And like, because she didn't start you up or anything, so she is kind of watching to see what you will do now that you're awake.
Hang on, let me check something really quick. Okay, good. Good. Um, the it's not showing. I have it cropped such that it's not showing on stream when I have my hand open to consider uh what memories I could play.
Yeah, no, we just see the sync and desync.
Yeah. Um I think, and I'm just going to put this smack dab in the middle until we decide what to do with it. And I'm waiting for the stream to update so I can make sure that it's visible.
It is.
It is on the stream?
Yep. It's the Two of Hearts.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm playing the Two of Hearts, hearts being memories tied to people, and two being a minor memory. And I think it's just with being initialized for the first time in Lavender certainly has no idea how long, and I'm not sure Celadon knows, Celadon has any sense of how long she's been shut down, because, like, how when your battery dies, if you leave your battery dead long enough, like, even your clock will fall out of sync.
My battery has never been dead for that long.
Okay.
Is that really a thing that happens?
Yeah, it can happen on a bunch of different types of electronics. Like, my Surface just needs a whole bunch of help, but, like, it won't even hold enough charge to keep, like, the internal clock running when it's off. So that's why I'm constantly having to fight with it to reset the time anytime I boot it back up. But anyway, so neither of them know how long this mech has been in this forest, other than it's been long enough to be taken over by Kudzu, but that could be like 3 weeks, or it could be 3 millennia, who knows. Kudzu grows fast. And through the static of, like, the freshly connected bloom, Lavender sees a woman with like medium brown skin and, let's go full anime bullshit, long silver hair, wearing antiquated, or what Lavender considers antiquated armor. And like she's got her hand like pressed against some sort of panel in Celadon's cockpit, and there's like the static of the bloom connecting, and the woman opens her mouth to introduce herself, but like Lavender can't hear that introduction, but then the memory fades away. And that's what she gets over the bloom as they connect.
So how does the bloom work? Do I like see this in my head?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the bloom allows you and your co-pilot to relive memories together. It's kind of like a psychic connection.
Okay. So Lavender probably knows about the bloom because I assume they're still using it for the mechs today. And kind of steps out from behind the tree and just says, "Hello."
There's a sort of grating sound as Celadon like pulls vines from her joints, and she just says, "You're not my pilot."
Good observation there. You're not a current model mech, and I'm not your pilot. Where's your pilot?
Oh, jeez. Is it too early to be sad?
Well, let's check the clock.
It's always sad o'clock somewhere.
Is 7:22 p.m. too early to be sad? Danielle says no.
So, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I think all Celadon says is, "Missing."
My mind just immediately goes to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, that's rough, buddy. Gotta love those brash characters. Yeah, Lavender probably is not great at consoling, but we'll kind of walk forward and like come back out of the clearing and come back where Celadon can see her. I lost my mech in the war and I'm trying to get home. Did your pilot go home?
Celadon goes still, and I think maybe there's a little bit of a sense of confusion in the bloom. And what Lavender hears out loud is, we all go home in the end. But, like, she also gets the sense of, like, is it not over?
Is there any sadness or is just confusion?
I mean, there's I think the confusion is strong enough that it like outweighs uh outweighs the sadness.
Okay.
Oh.
Hmm?
Uh-oh. Danielle
What's uh-oh?
donated $10.
Oh. To play a card.
Yes. To play my highest spade. So, I think, I'm going to make a, executive decision here. If you donate $10 to play a particular card, just name the card. It doesn't matter if it's in the person's hand or not. That's the next card they play. So, so on not the next scene, but the scene after next, I will play an ace of spades.
Cool. Which will be a memory that's fundamental to who you are and your conception of yourself.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I think Lavender is approaching you and like hands out like, hey, I'm not here to hurt you or anything. I'm just trying to get home. Do you want to go home too? Looking around like, is want a thing? We probably should get you back to the factory so you can be reassigned.
Fuck. I'm trying to decide how she phrases this. And I've realized that Celadon is evidently an edgelord because what she says is, my home is on the battlefield and I do not wish to return to it.
All right, fair. Fair, buddy. Right now, I'm not really too keen on returning with just me and my fists either. So, also, you're a little. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you might find that the other mechs out there are a little different now. How long have you been in this forest?
Also, thank you, Brian, for your donation. I'm assuming since you did not put anything in the comment box that you were not wanting to force our
Torture?
hand. But
Jade in the chat says, August, what is it with you and edgelords? And like, what a good question, Jade.
I mean, it's
good.
I have a fondness.
It's very good.
But also I deserve to be mocked, so it's fine. So I think she consults her like internal chronometer, I guess, and she rattles off the date, which is something like it's the 32nd day in the 5th lunar cycle in the reign of
Lavender with like a pen and paper out of nowhere trying to do math to follow along with what you're saying.
Yeah, in the reign of some ruler who's probably been dead for the last 50 years.
Oh, buddy. I think at the mention of the ruler, would stop writing on my magical paper and pencil that I pulled out of nowhere. Like, kind of contemplating, how do I break it to this robot that person has not been in control for a very long time. And I think you can sense that over the bloom, like that uncertainty and like the hesitation there. As like Lavender kind of scrambles about to figure out how to really respond. And I think she like comes over and like sits beside you like, well, if we aren't going back to the war, where you want to go? Because I'd like to get off this planet.
That seems like a good place to end the scene.
I like it.
Okay, so do we feel that this memory contributed to the sync between us or contributed to desync?
I mean, my vote would be for sync, but we also started with nothing, so...
Well, I mean, we're supposed to start at kind of like a neutral position with regards to sync, and yeah, I definitely don't think it drove a wedge between us, so... Into the sync pile it goes. So, it is now my turn to set a scene. And then during that scene, at any point, you play a memory from your hand. I think this scene is maybe it's just a couple of hours later, like Celadon. Oh shit, Celadon never introduced herself.
Yeah,
our characters never introduced themselves.
And yet we're closer somehow. God, I'm the worst at that, so sorry.
You're not the worst at that because I'm pretty bad at it too. God, so I think maybe, like, I don't think Celadon has, like, invited you into her cockpit yet.
That phrasing.
Which, as soon
That
as
there
I
phrasing.
said that, it's like, oh, oops. Um, but, like, I think maybe she, like, put you up on her shoulder and she picked a direction, to start walking. And she, like, probably for the first, like, half hour or so, she didn't say anything. Like, would Lavender have asked her questions during that time, though?
I feel like Lavender would have tried to like break the awkward silence. Um, like at first pointing out just like, oh wow, look at that thing over there. That's cool. This is the weirdest day of my life.
Uh, yeah, so Celadon, like, kind of ignores her, but after about a half hour, she does say that, she does say, my designation is Celadon. I served under... Why did I close my Don John tab?
Don John, come back. You're not supposed to be closed during a game.
um... All of these names are garbage. Oh, there's a good one. I served in the army of Lady Areniel.
Which common knowledge I would know. Oh man, how good of a student was I? Do I know exactly how many like years ago that was from?
I mean, that just depends on if you think it's more fun for there to be the misunderstanding of how old Celadon actually is, or if you think it's more interesting to play out like your reaction to how long ago Celadon was commissioned.
Yeah, I think Lavender would know more about like this unit is old and like probably just studied enough for the test to like memorize the information and then forgot it afterwards, much like I myself do for pretty much every school thing. Um, so it doesn't necessarily catch to her as like it's probably a name she's like, oh, I heard that one in school. But then like probably that tips off a thing that's like, wait, I learned about that in school. It's already history. um, well, you feel like a bit of confusion over the bloom as well, and like I'm Lavender or Brent. Is that what? No, what did I? Is that what you call them?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Is operant the word to use? What is military?
I mean, something that needs to be abolished. I don't know.
Well, fair enough.
We're in a fantasy setting. Use whatever word you think sounds cool.
Yeah, I guess operant Star Child. But you can call me Lavender. I guess it's not like I'm fighting right now.
Operant Star Child, you said that there is a conflict.
Yeah, there's a battle on the this planet more confusion over the bloom. Our team got wiped pretty bad. My mech's completely gone. So the predators got us on that one. And now I'm here in a forest with you looking for a way home. And I think, let's see. I guess I can give you a memory for that too. I have. So is it good to play the higher ones, or does it not really matter when it comes to like the ones that are not 2 sevens or aces?
Well, the 2-7 ace is just like giving you an idea of the spectrum. So, you know, it really just comes down to like, what do you think your character would be comfortable sharing? Like, because like the other 2 cards that I had in my hand, other than the 2, were pretty high value cards, and I didn't think that that would be something that Celadon would necessarily lead off with. So
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with you know what? Fuck it. Let's do a strong emotion. So, oh, I pinged it too. It does not appear to have shown up on the stream though.
the
There it is.
stream's still a little bit behind, but yeah, it should show up in the frame.
Yeah, it is there now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a diamond, which is a memory of strong emotion, and you can see Lavender inside a mech that you've never seen this kind of design before, and like probably don't necessarily understand what everything in there does, like the thing she's doing to operate the mech. And you can see the predators, which probably look like you remember them.
Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much watch this battle unfold and watch the whole team be defeated, and Lavender and her mech go down. I think there's like some sort of ejection that happens that gets Lavender to safety. And I don't necessarily think that she did it.
What kind of relationship did she have with her mech?
I think,
like, were they super close, or were they just like essentially co-workers?
I think they were like they had worked together for so long that they were close in like a partner kind of way, not like a partner romance kind of way, but like a partner like I think this ejection is like the first time the mech had done something without her input. So that that was not something she expected, so she didn't have time to react to. But like she loved her mech in the way that like like, you know how people get attached to cars?
Yeah.
And, like, if you lost your car very suddenly, there are many reasons you'd be pretty sad. But, like, sentimental and emotional attachment is probably one of them. But also now has this weird, like, memory of the way the battle ended. Oh, Danielle, I'm sorry. Because that was the first time, I believe, she'd had anything like that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what you get.
Okay. I genuinely don't think Celadon says much of anything after that. There's just sort of like, you know, it's not that she's ignoring you. It's just like you get the sense that she just is considering what she just witnessed, but she's not like taking any action based on it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that Lavender is reassured by the complete and utter quiet.
Actually,
She probably goes back to like, okay, well, anyways, wow, look at that thing over there.
I think after a little bit, Celadon says, "We defeated them."
I mean, when do you think this happened? Because there's still a war going on.
The last predator was driven from this planet in the 13th day of the ninth,
Oh, no.
of the ninth lunar cycle of, I don't want to use the word emperor, of sovereign come on, Don John, tell me what this sovereign's name is. No, the sovereign's name is not Tati. Tati is not a good person. Of sovereign Amaril.
You gotta calm down with the math, buddy. I didn't do that well in school. Can assure you, are sovereigns still a thing?
I mean, that's your call.
Um, part of me wants to say no. Um, would that kill any ideas you have if I said they're not?
No.
Okay. So, yeah, I think Lavender says, I assure you, there ain't no sovereigns. We haven't worked like that for a while. Getting more southern as I go.
What time of day is it?
7:50 p.m.
Ugh.
I mean, they've probably been running for a few hours, maybe maybe around sunset.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there's more confusion over the bloom, and then Celadon stops, and she just says, we should rest.
Okay. We can rest. That might be a good ending point for the scene.
Yep.
Is them setting up their camp for the night.
Yep.
So did this bring us closer or farther together? Apart? Huh?
I kind of think that this was desync because now Celadon is just confused and a little upset.
I would agree with that. Analysis. Ah.
Okay, cool. So, your scene.
I kind of want to do a scene in camp that night.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we have to get back to the war? Do I need to draw a card?
Yes, you do need to replace the card that you played.
Did that. Yeah, like, are we allowed to just kind of keep going with this day?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, just as clarification, the text does say that we play our side's best hope in a conflict against an overwhelming enemy, but we could still be the best hope, but also be fucking off.
I mean, they're actively probably still on this planet, so I guess the two scene options are we can either have a nice quiet night in camp where we go through the awkward first night together, or we could get attacked in the middle of the night.
It's up to you. Oh wow, I only just now saw Jade's message from 640 about mentioning incentives. I mean, what do you think would be more fun? Do you think it would be fun for an action sequence or...
Yeah, let's go ahead and have them. Let's have them at camp that night, and I think in the middle of the night they've like had dinner and are winding down, and one of the predators shows up.
Okay.
So what does the mech eat? That's fair. That's fair.
The souls of her enemies.
Good luck. We just happen to have an enemy that you may devour their soul.
Yes. She subsists on the life force of the enemies that she kills, and that's what powers the magic that animates her.
She's a magic girl mech.
Yes.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle in the chat says they're mechanical, right? Cannibal. Actually, Celadon's adjectives are ancient, mystical, and mysterious, so we don't know whether she's mechanical or not, but she's definitely magic. How big are the predators? Like, presumably large enough that you need 3.5-story tall mechs to fight them.
I mean, either they're that big or they're that dangerous, right? They've got to be bigger than a person.
Yeah.
Just running from a bunch of tiny aliens. Like, hey, come back. That doesn't have the same kind of vibe, I don't think. Kaiju fight.
Oh my god, Brian.
I mean...
Saying she's like an Ava. No, she's not like an Ava. She's not some dead kid's mom.
Wow.
Spoilers for Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Reasons I don't understand that reference. Booed.
She's not a MILF, Brian.
Jesus. Not yet. She's so rusty. We gotta have our makeover sequence. She's gotta, like, take off her glasses and become beautiful.
Wow, rude.
Look, I don't write Hollywood movies. I sort of love Danielle's suggestion of a kaiju fight.
I do too.
So why can't we have kaiju?
I think that is fantastic. So... Fucking really? Do y'all hear this shit?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. It's not being picked up.
Yeah. Little bit is making noises at me.
I guess Danielle could hear it, because Danielle said, hi, Elby.
So, what do the predators look like? Do they all have the same shape, or are there, like, different shapes for different like enemy types? Like, are these scouts and they're shaped like something different than like heavy fighters? Or
Oh, yeah.
so is this a scout or a heavy fighter?
Probably a scout. I don't think they're going to send the big guns because they don't necessarily know where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even know you're here. They just are probably still trying to, like, they may not even be looking for lavender necessarily, but they're like still just patrolling like the planet that they currently occupy.
Well, I don't think they're even necessarily looking for Lavender, because like Lavender without her mech couldn't do anything to them,
Mm-hmm.
probably. So like they're probably not even looking for her, because the thing that poses the most threat to them is gone. So yeah, this may just be just a scout that's just on patrol, not even looking for anything in particular.
Um, so yeah, the scout comes into the like camp, and I think Lavender immediately draws a pistol. um,
Danielle donated $5 and says in her donation, which thank you, Danielle. She says Zoids in all caps, which unfortunately is a problem because I never watched Zoids, so the only thing I know is like they have giant robots in
they're
Zoids. And don't they fight or something? Is there.
looking up their like looking it up online. It's robot animals.
Oh, okay. So, uh, what robot animal should the scouts be?
Ah. Well, there's a, let's see. I'm just looking through them all now.
Yeah,
Danielle.
Danielle.
Oh, a Liger Zero.
Okay. We're attacked by a Liger Zero. Let me look up what Liger Zero
Oh, look
looks
at all
like.
these good cats.
Wait, isn't Liger Zero what the Amp Runner is inspired by?
You're asking the wrong person for references. Hello, I've consumed zero media in my 28 years of life.
Well, I mean, it was in Twilight Mirage, but yeah, okay, Brian confirms that yes, that is what the Amp Runner is based off of. Um, cool, cool, cool.
So we're attacked by a big mech cat.
Yes. Um, and it has a shitty chiptune roar.
Jesus.
Um, cool. Hmm. Excuse me. Let me just check something. I think I can. No, I can't. Oh well. Um. I'm trying to decide if now is when I want to uh, play my memory, or if I want to give it a little bit further. Um.
Always do the thing. I'm bad at this.
You're not bad at this.
You have to play the Ace of Spades when you do.
Yes, I do.
What better time to have a very emotional memory than in the middle of being attacked?
I wish it would let me choose a card from the deck.
Oh, to like pull out the ace.
Yeah.
We'll just have to write it on the screen.
Yeah, we'll just have to write it on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Ace of Spades. And this is a very visceral sort of thing. And it's a bunch of disjointed feelings that Lavender can kind of piece together into a coherent memory. And it's like the sound of metal being twisted and a spray of like hydraulic fluid and like the feel of something jagged under her palm and the sound of a woman's laughter. And like in a split second, I think Lavender can realize that like this is a memory of the first time Celadon killed a predator. And like So I don't remember, did we establish that Liger Zero had spotted us, or did we spot the scout?
I think I'd said that it came into the camp and I pulled my gun on it.
Okay, yes, that's right. You did say that. Sorry. I don't know why my brain can't hold more than like 5 seconds of the past in its memory right now. Yeah, so I think the hatch to Celadon's cockpit like pops open, and she just says, "Get in now."
Oh, all right, I won't argue. Yeah, Lavender hops on in. She's not about to argue with safety. And we're going shopping. I think once inside, she starts trying to like operate you and to like fight the thing. Do you let that happen, or?
Yeah. No, definitely. Like,
and there's definitely like she pushes a button and like the thing that she wants to happen is not the thing that happens. She's like, "Oh, sorry. You're just a lot different of a model than I learned on." But manages to like get to a place where she can in fact do something useful.
mm-hmm.
recalls enough of that memorized class content.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's shooting.
Yeah, I don't think that the scout was expecting to find anything. So I think, even though, like, it surprised us, like, it's not like it was raring for battle, so I don't think that it actually got a surprise round off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, do you think we make quick work of it though, or do you think that like Celadon's too rusty and it's a much closer fight than either of them would like?
I think they definitely like get it dealt with. There's like that awkward moment in the beginning where Lavender's just like pushing all the wrong buttons and doing the wrong things. But then she gets it under control, and that confidence, like you can feel that. That like once she has her grip on the situation, she feels confident and like almost a little excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, this is why I do this thing.
Fair.
And yeah, so I think there's like a close call with the beginning and like the awkward like getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay. Cool. I mean, we do definitely like kill it though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like there's a moment when Celadon is looking down at the metallic corpse, and like there's still the echo of that first time that she killed a predator with her previous pilot, and she just like kind of like, oh, we never established that Celadon is definitely a humanoid, kind of like a Gundam.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing as well.
Yeah. But we never actually established it out loud. We were both just assuming. But, yes, and she just, like, stomps on, a smaller bit of debris and just, like, grinds it into the ground with her foot and says, if there is a scout, the rest of them will not be far from here.
Damn. And I was just getting comfortable. All right. Well, you feeling rested up enough to get back on with it?
I believe so. And instead of going the direction that they had been going, Celadon starts going in the direction that the scout came from.
You feel Lavender get a little nervous, like, whoa, what are you doing?
As I said, if there is a scout, they must not be far from here.
Ping of understanding. Uh, all right, I'm gonna trust you on this one. I just met you, but that's fine. And she doesn't argue.
Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. There's a robot lion, so let's kill them maybe.
Oh my god.
It's a shame we have to break up, huh?
Oh my god.
Um,
I can't break up. Too much of my stuff is there.
I don't know. I feel like that's a good place to end the scene.
Yeah, we're marching off to battle. This'll be fine.
This will be fine. Nothing wrong. Nothing bad ever happened from marching off to battle.
Oh boy.
Do uh do you think that memory brought us closer together?
Yeah, I think you letting me in the cockpit is pretty important step.
Okay. Cool. Okay, there we go. We have an ace of spades in the sink pile. Nobody judge my inability to draw
Aw.
with a mouse.
Aw. Good. I wasn't even going to go that hard on it, so good job.
Um, so the next scene is my scene. But it's almost time for Little Bit's dinner. And I don't know quite where I want to start the scene just yet, so how about we break for 5 minutes while I feed my cat, and then we'll come back. And I will hopefully by then have figured out what I want to do for the next scene.
Okay, that sounds good. So we'll be back.
Hang on, let me put up a oop, break scene. Of course, I'm doing it live, so boop. And okay, back in 5.